Hello, beautiful people, and happy 8/8 Lionsgate portal. Actually, this year we are extra lucky because we are experiencing the triple eight, and I've been guided to record this special edition video, and I have no idea what is going to be going on here, but I just turned up, so let's see what happens. And yeah, extra note, special happy birthday to everybody celebrating today. And I know two people, but I especially want to wish a happy birthday to my soul sis Marisa from Growing the Flow, because she plays a very special role in my heart. So anyway, as I created a new custom, I would like to open this space for my guides and my higher self and my angelic team and all the beings of light that would like to come through during this recording and share messages with us. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you everyone for being here and listening to this mysterious video, because I myself really have no idea what I'm going to be talking about, apart from the fact that it's a Lionsgate portal. So I would like to actually start with this beautiful card, which is the number 44, which I'll start to number 8, Ishtar's Lionsgate 888. And this is from a beautiful deck, White Light Oracle from Alana Fairchild. So I wasn't even aware this card was here until this deck arrived, and I was putting the cards, I was actually looking at the cards, and yeah, and then I actually noticed that this card was there, and how perfectly fitting. It's got 888. So can't be coincidence, right? This is Alana Fairchild, so the descriptions are rather long, but I felt that it was perhaps fitting to start with the description of this card. So let's see what it says. So Ishtar's Lionsgate 888. Your heart has a heightened connection with the higher realms of consciousness and light. A blessing, empowerment, and positive omen shall enter your world. Doors will open for you. Abundance and prosperity are headed your way. Take care of your heart. Ask for spiritual assistance, and it shall be granted. Something negative is going to transform into something very positive. Well, that sounds really nice. And now, what the card wants to say further. Ishtar is the queen of the night, a dark goddess of loss and letting go, but also a priestess of light who holds the keys to renewal from suffering. She is relentless in her pursuit of the path to true inner freedom. She willingly surrenders her attachments and her identities, even separating herself temporarily from her loved ones, with such boldness and confidence that she crosses into realms where others dare not to go. She experiences vulnerability and in that state discovers deep truth. Ishtar is the capacity of the soul to integrate our experiences. After reaching the greatest depths of suffering, she emerges and reinstates upon her rightful throne with even greater wisdom, spiritual power, and compassion. In a reading, she is a guardian and symbol of resurrection. You shall rise again. Those who have felt as though their identity or any other marker of security has been torn away from them are her children. They will find their way back to peace and prosperity under her auspices. If you have been suffering, this oracle indicates an end of the struggle is imminent. You shall be restored with so much more than you have lost. Ishtar is depicted in the Queen of the Night relief that dates back over 4,000 years from ancient Babylon, which was located in the lands of present-day southern Iraq. She is a bird woman priestess with talons and wings, flanked by owl and lions. She holds sacred tools, a rod and a ring. In her hands is bejeweled and naked, symbolizing her power and freedom. Her symbols are the gate, the 8-pointed star, and the lion. She is considered the goddess of the planet Venus, but the star Sirius is also sacred to her. Its rise each year marks her ancient from her ascent from the dark realms, which ensures prosperity and good fortune for the year ahead. Her jewels and tools represent her great power and effectiveness. The stars represent her higher consciousness and loving wisdom and are a sign of great blessing for your life, indicating prosperity, peace, healing, and love. The Lion's Gate falls when the sun is in Leo. Leo is the sign of the lion, the astrological ruler of the heart, and the animal totem sacred to Ishtar. The rising of Sirius took place on 26 July in ancient Egypt, which marked the beginning of the Egyptian New Year. In modern times and different latitudes, the date for the rising of Sirius varies considerably. Nonetheless, the 8th day of the 8th month is considered especially potent, and when combined with the 8-pointed star of Ishtar, the numerological frequency of the spiritual portal or doorway that opens on 8 August becomes 888. The 888 frequency will stimulate your soul in its unique way. It facilitates a deepening intimacy between the spiritual worlds and the earth plane, an amplification of light, and an outpouring of positive blessing for humanity. It is believed many, if not all, cosmic avatars who come to Earth as advanced spiritual guides hail from Sirius and make their blessings increasingly available to humanity during this opening between the worlds. This oracle brings a message of a breakthrough and healing, of a significant lightening up of your life, and the end of a deeply challenging cycle in your life. There is a special divine dispensation augured by the oracle of Ishtar's Lion's Gate 888, where hope has been difficult to find and all seem lost. The light shall return, and beautiful blessings are destined to unfold in your life. And then there is a meditation, and okay, then is a healing process, and I'm not sure, but let me just read it. Healing process. Connect to your breath, flowing in and out, helping you to come fully into this present moment. When you are ready, say the following prayer aloud. May the enlightened heart that truly loves humanity bring forth the compassion, mercy, grace, and protection needed so all beings may gain spiritual benefit, freedom, truth, and peace. See, sense, intend, or feel a radiant star rising above the horizon, bringing with it the beginning of a new dawn. It is a white, powerful sun animating rainbow-colored rays of hope, wisdom, peace, abundance, and love. You become aware of a second brilliant white sun, our sun, following its rise above the horizon. Two massive radiant white spiritual suns emanate all colors and blessings on their rays. Both are visible on the horizon. There is a sense that something very special is happening. An unusually powerful and unconditionally positive portal of healing is opening up for all hearts. Let yourself rest in the dual lights of these suns as they soak into your soul. You can imagine you carry the light of these two suns in your heart always, and that through your heart and all willing and capable hearts, the lights of these suns shine continuously on the inner dimensions for the spiritual benefit of all beings. You may like to rest a hand on your heart to ground this acknowledgement, capacity, and vision. Bring yourself back to here and now with some physical movement and plenty of hydration. You have completed your healing process. Okay, 9 minutes in, just interpretation of this one powerful card. But it's so significant because, of course, as we know with this Aquarian age, in opposition to Aquarius is Leo. And I've been mentioning this, and also I know this has been discussed in my collaborations, and also I'm sure many other people, whether astrologers or light workers, that work with different tools, doesn't matter, have been talking about the heart-centered consciousness, and that is Leo. And actually I have just attended 888 meditation with Elunia, who is a channeler that I started following recently and I deeply respect. And it's been a very beautiful process, and the meditation was almost hour and a half, and there was a lot of processing through the heart, which I can't tell you what exactly was going on, because for all of it I checked out, as it's usually the case with me when I meditate. Very often I just go somewhere else and I can hear the words, but it's not connecting in my brain, it's just not translated, but I can hear somebody talking, it's just there is something else going on over there. So it is very profound, and especially as we might be aware today, we are experiencing the Venus Mercury conjunction, and Mercury is still in the sign of Virgo retrograde. And this is their third and I believe final conjunction for this year. The next time they are going to conjunct will be next year in the sign of Aries, I believe, and Venus will be retrograde. And Venus will station retrograde while right after Mars finished his retrograde, because Mars is going to start retrograde in December in the sign of Leo, then go back to the sign of Cancer, and then eventually move back into the sign of Leo. So this is all very interesting, because this year astrologically we are experiencing a lot of activations in Capricorn because of the four lunations, which of course it's all about this stepping into our inner authority and becoming conscious creators of the reality we want to be experiencing. But in opposition is the Cancer, so we cannot create a different reality to the one we are experiencing now without becoming a different versions of ourselves. So this is why this summer is such a potent part, like a landmark of this year, because we experienced the two full moons in Capricorn, on one and 29 degrees, both degrees being very significant, and in between was this new moon in Cancer. And now just few days ago we had the new moon in Leo. So there was an identity reset because of the illumination of the past story based on the past identities we played, whether in this lifetime, past lifetimes, our ancestor line collective, it's all part of the same soup. And now with this Leo, we are invited to step into our true purpose. Actually, this was 12 degrees Leo new moon, so that was on a Sagittarius decan, which is all about this expansion. And today it's this I mean, not once in a lifetime, obviously every year that adds up to number 8 adds up to 888, but it's just very profound that this 8 number is associated with the number with Saturn, and we are experiencing 4 lunations in the sign of Capricorn ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in the sign of Pisces, and Pluto is preparing for his last ingress into the sign of Capricorn in our lifetime, and it will remain on 29 degrees, which is all about these endings, all about these culminations. So I feel that now with this Leo season, and especially today, this Lion's Gate portal that's opened for us on this extra special 888 day, there is an opportunity for a tremendous amount of healing and moving this energy that got stuck in time. As you know, the archetype of Aquarius is about trauma, is about things that became stuck in time that need to be re-experienced in one way or another. Like, you know, this is why we're experiencing the triggers. So things are coming around to show us that, oh, this is something that is unhealed, unresolved. And again, as I, mentioned in my last astrological forecast, Mercury will have free trines with Chiron after having free conjunctions with Chiron when he was last retrograde in April, in the eclipse season, post-eclipse season, during and post. And and this is all about this new way of working with our wounds, because otherwise everything just keep coming in circles, all these incarnations, all these processes. And it's interesting because I literally just spoke about this with my client this morning, and this is literally what happens every single lifetime we come back. It's like repetition of the same cycles, like us trying to resolve the cycles but being kind of stuck in the same place because of the identity, because of these attachments to these stories that we've been passed on. And then it's like like I was saying to this client, that it's like, imagine that the setup, like the theater or the movie set has changed, but the game is still the same, you know, like if we play in Shakespeare games, like, okay, now we can create more fanciful surrounding and setup to play that game, and the costumes look better, the actors have more makeup or whatever, you know, everything is more professionally looking, but it's the same game. It is the same play, right? It is still the same stuff. So this is kind of what I feel. So with this Lion's Gate, because Leo is about our purpose, it is about our authentic expression, what we came here to do as a unique expression of the source. And you know, the main reason for all this suffering in the world, in my opinion, I mean, this is just me sharing my perceptions, I'm not saying this is the universal truth, it's because we are so disconnected from ourselves, you know, ourselves of, you know, who I am, who you are, and then of course that makes us feel disconnected from one another, because when we don't feel safe and secure, Cancer, safe and secure within ourselves, but we are being conditioned by all these labels and fake identities, all these mistaken identities, just because of the external projection of what the outer world is telling us that we are, right? Then many of us, and this was especially the case in previous lifetimes, we cannot self-actualize, we cannot be authentic, we cannot follow our North Star and do what we came here to do, because we don't even know who we are. Therefore, we don't even know what it is. So with these very strong portals that we are experiencing at the moment and these strong activations, there is this beautiful opportunity for all this healing that can take place, you know, all this that can be released, just like this card so beautifully described. And I haven't read the description prior to recording, so I didn't know what exactly, you know, was going to be said. But this is so profound, like they said, like it's about this sorrow and loss, and even this, you know, like, you know, we can say like, oh yeah, we need to leave behind this story and identities and all that, but then, and this is again something that came to me when I was doing this reading today, it is like, imagine that you would be in an accident and you would lose your memory, you know, like when people, and this happens, of course it happens in life, that people lose their memory, and there are also conditions, medical conditions, where people, you know, not just with age, you know, start forgetting, but there are also medical conditions where people lose their short-term memory and stuff like that. You know, there was one movie I watched when I was much younger, I think it was called 50 First Dates, right, with Drew Barrymore, I believe it was, and she kept every day, she was, you know, she woke up and she forgot what happened in the, like, you know, the short-term memory, she forget, and then eventually she started writing it down. So when she woke up, it was like, you know, and I mean, if somebody didn't watch it and wants to, then obviously spoiler alert, you know, this is how she resolves this situation towards the end, that it's like, you know, these marker points that read me, you know, before you go out of the room and think like, oh my god, who are you, you know, this boyfriend or something, like, read me. And I mean, I might be butchering it up because this is a long time I watched this, like long time, but that's literally what it is, you know. So we now have the opportunity, in a sense. It is scary because it requires for us to release the past, you know. Cancer as the archetype also rules our memories, it is the past. So in one sense it is like, okay, you know, like I am trying to discover who I really am, but I am everything, I am all, you know, I am amalgamation and composite of everything that ever happened and came before and ever act out on this planet, you know. It all lives within our DNA, in our memory bank, in the Akashic record. So whether it happened to me personally or someone else, anyway, there is a memory in my blood, in my DNA, in your DNA, in everybody's DNA. We all remember. So in a sense, it is not so easy to say like, oh yeah, well, let's just forget about who we are and turn this fresh page and create a new story, because it is like losing a memory, you know. It is like, in a sense, you know, the ego might go into, you know, flight, fight response and say, okay, and then who am I? What is my history? You know, if this is being released, then what is left? You know, just like this person that might come out of coma after the accident and they don't remember nothing. And it's scary because it's like, who am I? You know, who am I if all these memories are wiped clean and gone? And then, yeah, on the other hand, we have the opportunity to become whoever we want to be. So it is like, you know, like two sides of the same coin, but it's like a two-pointed weapon, you know, where we feel like this is something that has to take place in one sense, not like we forget completely, you know, because what happened will always be remembered, but like release it, you know. So it is like, I don't know how to explain it in words, but there is so much grief and sorrow connected to that, because we have these emotional attachments to the past. So in a sense, right now, with the 29 degrees Neptune retrograde and Saturn retrograde, we are invited to release the past, to let go of these old versions of ourselves and identities. Doesn't mean they didn't exist, or, you know, we forget that they happened, you know, but it's like making a space for this new, because we cannot create the new when all this old is taking its place, and all this old stuff, you know, is being dragged from incarnation to incarnation, is you know, keeping the wardrobe is full. There is nothing more to add to that wardrobe, it's full, you know. So that's in a sense like we need to make this massive clear up. And we might, you know, think, even myself, you know, we might say that, oh, I want that, you know, I want this new reality, I want to be someone different, I want to be experiencing this different life, but there is something within us, which is, you know, most part this ego, which is trying to keep us protected, that it doesn't want to let it go, because then who will I be when all of this is gone? You know, it's like, it sounds like a great idea, but it's scary at the same time, because who will I be? But we know that this is something that it's necessary, because in order for us to create this new earth, this new reality, we do have to become someone completely different. We do have to change. I have to change. Everybody has to a certain extent transform who they are right here, right now. Well, perhaps not the little ones, you know, because they do have a different software, but especially adults, especially Scorpio generation and older, because we carry this old stuff, you know, this old imprint, which is not even ours. It was just passed on to us as a, okay, now it's your go, you know, it's for you to try, you know, because it's also with this, as I keep repeating, and I'm sure I mentioned this before, you know, the wounded inner child becomes ancestor trauma, and the ancestor trauma gets passed on and becomes inner child wounding. You know, it's all the same, you know, everybody does the best they can, but we have to understand that the previous generations didn't have the same access that we have to knowledge, to wisdom, to information, and also the human collective consciousness at that time was very different, because all these planets, you know, that we playing with at the moment, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they weren't discovered until, you know, like, yes, you know, some of them few hundred years ago, which is still very, you know, not so long ago, considering thousands of years of human history, maybe, you know, millions. But Pluto was discovered not even 100 years ago. Pluto was discovered in 1930. So, you know, so this is like very new, you know, very new to us, that, oh, Pluto, evolution, you know, transformation. It doesn't mean it wasn't happening before, but people weren't conscious of it. And we know that for us to change anything, we need to become aware. We need to become conscious of that pattern. That's why, like, when we say once we awake, we cannot go back to sleep, even though that's questionable, because, you know, I know people who manage to do that, even though I'm not in contact with them anymore, so I don't know to which extent that, you know, worked for them. But anyway, without going too personal, once we know, we cannot unknow. We cannot pretend that we don't know, because we know. And then what we're going to do about it? So right now, with this stuff that's being illuminated, I mean, even though new moon is a new moon, you know, there is no light, but we had two Capricorn full moons, and the second one was on 29 degrees. I mean, it doesn't get more illuminated than that. It's like the totality. It was the same degree when Pluto had a conjunction with Sun in January, on January 20th. It's also the same degree, not the same sign, but the same degree where we had the first solar eclipse in Aries. It was also on 29 degrees. And it is the same degree where Neptune is at the moment, and it is the same degree where Pluto will return in Capricorn itself in September. You know, right? I keep forgetting what goes first, but I think Pluto moves into Capricorn first, and then Uranus goes retrograde, but it's happening simultaneously. Pluto will go back into Capricorn, and Uranus will station retrograde. Like, okay, one more reevaluation, and then that's it, you know? So what is all this to have to do with this Leo? It literally is what it is, you know. It is stepping into our true authentic purpose and destiny. So it is not just about keep recreating the same pattern and reliving the same experiences just by changing the roles we play. Like, yeah, you will be the husband, I will be the wife, you will be the mother, I'll be the son, whatever. No, now it's a time to release all of that. So this is why we have 8 billion souls present on the planet, even though, you know, it is not necessarily all, you know, from different spirit, you know, like, because the same soul gets incarnated in a multiple versions, multiple bodies at the same time. So it's not necessarily 8 billion different souls, you know, but there are 8 billion beings, you know, at the moment incarnated on the planet. And why is that? Because there is this beautiful opportunity for us to just end it, not end the world, but to end this continuous vicious circle of keep reincarnating and unfulfilling to a certain extent our desire to become fully actualized as a soul incarnate, because it wasn't the right time. Because it wasn't the right time and human collective consciousness wasn't ready for it, but now it is. So now with this beautiful Pluto still in the sign of Aquarius, last year for 8-8 portal, Pluto was not in Aquarius anymore, it was already back in Capricorn. So this is the first 8-8 portal with Pluto in Aquarius, as far as I'm aware. Well, I mean, obviously, unless somebody was around during the, you know, during the last Pluto Aquarius transit, you know, few hundred years ago. But anyway, you know, this is the first 8-8 portal in the year 8 with Pluto in Aquarius, even though retrograde, but still in a sign of Aquarius. And this is very profound. This is very important because Pluto is preparing for this last ingress into the sign of Capricorn in our lifetime. And then it's full stream ahead, even though next year we're going to have the back and forth dance between Saturn, Neptune and Uranus going from one sign to another, and then eventually ending up all in new signs in 2026. So yeah, so with this Leo Lionsgate portal, this gateway opened up for us, which, you know, energetically, it doesn't mean that, okay, if you don't take the, you know, if you don't use the energy now, it will just shut itself and that's it. It's not available anymore, because we know that there is, it doesn't operate in the linear ways as we identified. So if you want to connect to this energy, I'm sure it is available, you know, at any time for you, but it is especially powerful today because, you know, based on our agreement between ourselves, this is the day which we class as 888, right? So anyway, you know, I don't want to beat around the bush and keep going in a circles, but this is the year. This is the year where we all will be invited to make a choice. Do we want to continue in the ways we've been doing and living, which is, and this doesn't have to be like, I think like we get lost on these tangible manifestations of these energies. You know, this is what I feel, that, you know, we all want to see like, okay, where is the change? You know, where is the change in my life? Where is the change in, you know, my experience, you know, my job, my finances, my relationships? But I really feel that there is a lot that's going on behind the scenes. And this is my opinion, again, I'm not saying this is the truth for everyone. There is so much going on, especially with the Pisces activation. There is so much going on, and I don't think anybody can fully comprehend what's going on. I don't think so, because I really feel that right now, maybe the little kids, but they cannot express it, because even though they have the new software, they're still little, the Pluto Capricorns, perhaps the Pluto Sagittariuses, but they're still very young. None of them had their Saturn return yet. So I really feel that what is really going on energetically in the world right now, and where we are evolutionary, I don't believe anybody can fully comprehend and understand with our brain, because our brain is, you know, limited to a certain extent, how much it can process and stuff. It's a beautiful instrument, but, you know, it's got these limitations. I don't think anybody can fully comprehend what's really going on. And I really believe that once Uranus moves into Gemini, and especially once it fully moves into Gemini in 2026, because next year is the dance, you know, in and out, just like Pluto has been doing, you know, since last year, I think we will start understanding more after Uranus moves into the sign of Gemini, and of course, Saturn and Neptune into the sign of Aries. So there will be a lot of momentum going on, especially from summer 2026. So all of this is like, as I think I was talking about in my last video, the training wheels of the Capricorn age, Pisces age are off, but the training wheels of the Aquarius age are still on because it's this back and forth, and it is the opportunity for us to integrate and to adjust to this new energy. And this is what I mean. We might not see so much changing in our outer reality, apart from the fact that we feel that the world is falling apart, because all we can see is the totality of what was. It's all happening at once, everything. 29 degrees Pisces, 29 degrees Capricorn, it's all there for our viewing pleasure, if you can call it that, with regards to observer, the soul as the observer of the reality that the body, the physical incarnation is experiencing. So we might think, well, nothing is changing, nothing is happening, right? But I really believe there is so much happening that we not yet can see and not yet can fully comprehend. This is my belief. And especially with Jupiter going through the sign of Gemini, just about to have a conjunction with Mars next week, there is this expansion of consciousness, and with the grand mutable cross that is going to be active during the time of this conjunction, there is a lot of need for adjustments, but like I said, it's going to look different to different people, and the energy is fast moving. It's fast moving and fast changing, and it's not staying in one way, because these mutable energy, mutable signs are all about change of season, change of everything, So anyway, so this is what I feel, and I feel that today is playing very significant role, which again, because it was just new moon in Leo, and today the moon is gaining its first crescent, it's the waxing crescent moon, because moon is moving into the sign of Libra today, which is all about this neutralization and balancing of these energies that has been streaming through. And this is why, as I shared in my astrological forecast hybrid, there is not much happening from the time of the new moon in Leo until the Jupiter-Mars conjunction on the 14th, because there is a lot happening on an energetical level that we cannot yet see. Well, I mean, there could be potentially things happening in the world, which, I try to pay as little attention as I possibly can, because I don't wish to give my prana to that energy. But the biggest change is happening internally, and that's where it has to happen, because the reality that we want to create is not going to be created different the way we've been creating reality until this point. Just like, Einstein say, right? Like the definition of insanity, if you can keep doing the same thing but expect different results, it's not gonna work, right? So the different way of creating the world that we wish to experience, and everybody, most people want to experience world of peace, love, abundance, unity. This is a word that's been coming up for a lot of people, including my sources, the unity consciousness. But it doesn't mean that now we're all gonna be merged and nobody has their needs and value and authentic expression, and that is the difference. That was the Pisces age, where everybody's supposed to just get lost within the context of somebody else's truth, and that's it. So this is different. Now we're going to do things a little bit differently, but yeah, the process starts from inside out, and all the external upheaval and break of the pattern and all these shocks and things that we cannot fully integrate are bringing out stuff that are unintegrated from the past, and we have the opportunity to change the pattern, to reconnect with our true essence of our heart and be guided towards this new direction of creating a very different world for all of us. But it is the step-by-step process, and today plays a very important role in beginning of that. So okay, I have few more. I have quite a few decks here, so let's see how it goes, and then let's see if I'll be able to produce something towards the end. I do not have any channeled message, but I thought maybe I'll be brave and make myself vulnerable and share my light language I've been practicing since the eclipse. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so what should we start with? I think we're gonna start with the portal, because it is a portal day today, and usually I use this deck for the new and full moons, but I think today is a very important day to actually use this deck, because it's about portals. Gateway of Light Activation Oracle from Carl Gray. So let's see. Okay, what portal wish to express itself today on the 8/8 portal day, Lionsgate? Okay, let's see what portal characteristics are connected to today's energy. Oh yeah. Our favorite, Crystal Skull. Clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. And at the bottom, okay, we have something different here. Temple of Truth. Throat chakra, authenticity, and self-expression. Well, that sounds just like Leo. Look at that beautiful portal and all that water. All that healing. So yeah, the Crystal Skull, this is a regular. This one comes out at least every other reading, if not all of them. But look at all that violet, you know, the violet flame of healing and forgiveness. And the skull, you know, the crystal as a crown chakra. Also the crystal as a crystal quartz has the memory, you know, it's like a hard drive. It contains the memory of everything that was technically. So yeah, divine healing, clarity and divine healing, and the opportunity to start expressing the truth. You know, all these emotions are pouring out for the truth to be expressed. Yeah, so it's a portal to self-actualization, self-expression, and authenticity. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, let's see. So the Crystal Skull Wisdom, let's just read a little bit about the reminder. But yeah, this is like crazy, you know, how this card keeps coming up all the time. Oh, yeah, and the Divine Matrix, I just went past it. Okay, so the Crystal Skull, as we know, healing tools and wisdom keepers. Oh yeah, of Atlantis and Lemuria, of course. Has the capacity for amplifying energy and storing information. Yes, because it's a crystal. When a crystal is carved into a particular shape, it can bring a healing and clarity, represent and uncover memories that could be essential to reveal the truth. Well, isn't that interesting? And then we have the truth, right? So the truth is coming out. It's coming out because we need to see it, because just as I was talking about in my most recent video, the energy cannot be, it cannot disappear. The energy has to be transformed. It cannot just disappear. All this sorrow, all this pain, everything that ever happened on this planet, the energy of that has to be transmuted. It will not just disappear on its own. And that's my throat chakra going. Okay, so crystal skulls are wonderful healing tools that bring clarity to the mind and healing to the head space. This card transports us to energetic space representing the crystal skull consciousness. It delivers high vibrational frequencies into our energy field so that we can experience clear-mindedness. If you have ever felt called to crystal skulls or have an interest in them, there's a possibility that you have connected with them in a previous incarnations. They are gateway to clarity and potential. Your message, all aspects of your life are becoming clearer at this time. Expect to become aware of what you need to step away from to have a more what you need to step away from to have a more focused path. You might have felt indecisive, but now you are downloading direct guidance from the heart of source so that you can live and express yourself in a more authentic way. Know that downloads often appear as your own inner guidance encouraging you to move forward. The key is to recognize the calmness they bring. This is a time of clarity and connection. Crystal Skull downloads are here to bring clarification to what you have been receiving within. In order for the next phase of your journey to unfold, you must follow the information you have received. You know what you need to do to heal and grow. If you've been asking for a sign that the healing work you have been doing has been successful, trust that this card is the message you have been waiting for. And this is definitely something that I needed to hear after some of my recent experiences. So thank you, Spirit. But yeah, just keep going. What you do matters. What you do matters. It's all this violet flame, the healing light, forgiveness. Okay, and the temple of the truth with all that water. With all that water, all that emotion that is pouring out. Okay, here we go. Throat chakra, authenticity, self-expression. The throat chakra is found between our collarbone and is the energetic center that governs everything to do with truth, communication and self-expression. Whenever we have to speak up, raise our voice, or even just get our emotions out, it is activated. We'll often feel when this space is clogged up energetically or when it needs to open up, because we'll feel a lump in our throat or even our heart. This card transports us to the temple of truth, the inner energetic gateway that supports our truest form of expression. The image shows that this is a bright, airy, open space with flowing water. This represents the emotions that run through us. Emotions are powerful messengers, and if we don't attend to what needs to come out or through us, they build up, and before we know it, we're overwhelmed by them. Connect. Place your fingertips on either side of your collarbone and breathe towards your throat center. Visualize the doorway opening or a portal forming, allowing the energy within to flow freely. Your message. When you are brought to this space, you are being reminded of the importance of your identity and your self-expression in this lifetime. Acknowledging who you are, who you have been, and who you are becoming is so important for the unfoldment of your path. There's an old story that the truth hurts. This gateway reminds you that in fact the truth heals. The truth is your truth, and it's important for you to honor it with every facet of your being. This isn't the first incarnation in which you have felt the importance of honesty and authenticity, but it might be the first in which you have had the full freedom of expression. The gateway coming to you today is a message that there is something buried deep inside you that you haven't expressed, and this is causing energetic blockages on your ever unfolding path. It is a time to love yourself enough to honor the feelings that are rising up in you, for they are divine guidance that will bring you into greater alignment. Yeah. How much unspoken there has been throughout the history because of fear, because of the identities, right, that we were attached to, the roles that we played. Okay, so that's this one. Okay, let's speak to... Which one should we choose? I have so many decks. Okay. I think I'm going to ask the Mystical Shaman. Mystical Shaman. Okay, let's see. Mystical Shaman about these past incarnations. Okay, what is the guidance, please, with regards to this message? Owl. 39, number 12, which is number 3, expansion, also number 12 in tarot, hangman, different perspective, and council, number 11, the council of light. Okay, seen from the higher perspective, the wisdom keeper, owl, and the higher council. Let's see what, and it's interesting because the 39, 12, 11, 12, we have a continuation. Okay, 39 first. The owl, the essence. Owl is the master of the night. She can see situations with perfect clarity, more so when it's dark, and is able to discern truth. Again, the truth. When others are sightless, she helps you find your light and your lightness in the darkest moments of your life, and to embrace the night as your ally. Owl can bring your messages from the invisible world. She opens your ears so that you might hear the voices of the ancestors and you might acquire their wisdom to make it your own. The invitation: look around you, notice every detail, and find the hidden messages brought to you by Owl. Do not shoot the messenger. Be grateful to the friend who shows you what you have not wanted to see until now. Observe all the facets of the diamond without judgment. Remember that the facets you dislike are often mirrors of the parts of you that you do not want to recognize. Do not be afraid of the truth, as it will become your compass. Medicine: Owl guards against self-deception and insists that your motives be pure and transparent to all. What is the message that you are not hearing, the situation you are not seeing with clarity? Owl invites you to wait patiently, bide your time until it is right to act. Then do so decisively with no hesitation or remorse. Yeah. Again, the truth, the self-dependence. And you see, it's again this Aquarius. What are the aspects of ourselves that we had to reject? And it's hard for us to accept them back, whatever there's, these characteristics that weren't welcome and appreciated and celebrated when we were children. And then we meet people who have these characteristics and we get triggered. And, I know what these are for me, at least some of them, not saying I'm conscious about all of them. And yeah, it's interesting to ask ourselves why that is, why do I not like this behavior or this characteristic or whatever it is, this situation? Because I feel, and you see the ancestors are coming out, which is these old identities, and this is where I still hold, this is again my belief system, that I don't think we need to know all the details about our family trees, every single one of them, because we see it manifested, that which is unresolved and unhealed, we see it manifested in our own lives. However, I think it does help us to heal when we understand the meaning, when we understand the bigger picture, when we understand why these things took place. We can extend this compassion and understanding to those who so-called made mistakes or betrayed us or failed us, in some way, because they couldn't do any better, whether that really sucks because we think that they should have done better or they shouldn't or whatever, but whatever it was, it's just a matter of being able to see it from this multidimensional perspective, understanding the impact it had on us as that being, as the child or as that human, and feel the emotions that come from it, but at the same time understand, why would my soul choose to have this experience? Why would me and this person choose to have this contract, between one another? What is the learning? What is the deeper meaning? Because this is what I feel is so important in many cases, for people to be able to move on, to actually not necessarily understand all the details, but at least to understand that whatever took place actually did play a role. It did have a meaning, whatever the meaning was, to, in one way that, one way or another that might not fully make sense to the logical mind, to the ego mind. It did help in one way or another. It did make us the person that we are today. And, and it again goes back to this self-acceptance, being able to accept who we are and where we are at, because without seeing, without having the awareness, we cannot change anything, but also without accepting that, okay, this is the situation, we cannot change anything either, because when we are in a constant resistance to what is, then we will just keep manifesting more of that, attracting more of that, because by the law of attraction, we attract what we focus on, whether positive or negative. So I really feel with these ancestors, it is about having the deeper understanding of the fact that everything that took place, it held a meaning. And even those people, like I said, who from our perspective and looking back, think that they failed us or they caused an injustice or made a mistake, there was a meaning in that. And now these people that are in most cases gone, we have the opportunity to learn from their mistakes because they took on that mistake, so we didn't have to necessarily, and we have a choice, because every next generation has a choice whether to repeat the same patterns of the previous generation or to make a new choice, because every new generation comes with the tools to be able to go further, to be able to go beyond, because the Pluto moved on to the next generation, right? Yeah, so with the sorrow comes also the gifts and the wisdom, because it's the experience that was experienced, and therefore it can be lesson that was learned, but it's up to us to decide which way we're going to look at it. So number 11, the council, the light beings. Is this one? The council. The council are the luminous beings who hold the collective wisdom of humanity. They are the ones before whom you will do your life review when you cross into the world of spirit. A life review is when we place our good and our bad deeds on a divine scale and attempt to explain why we did not love or forgive or dare as greatly as we might have. Know that their wisdom is available to you at all times when you live in a state of yes, in an unconditional relationship with life. Interesting, I said love. They remind you of your place around a sacred fire which has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. You will claim it where you own your inner wisdom, the initiation. The council has a message for you. Listen with your inner senses. The handwriting is already on the wall, so look about you and you will discern its meaning. Do not wait for further signs. Embark on the journey to love deeply, forgive sincerely, and dare greatly. Take the leap without requiring life to assure you of your success. The medicine, you never alone. Turn to the council to find the guidance you seek and listen to the voice that arises spontaneously. Turn a deaf ear to that nagging voice from your ego that tells you that you are not up for the task before you. Create a spiritual feast for the council. Invite them to your altar every time you meditate or pray. In many cases that confirm what I was just saying with regards to the previous card. But again, just like in my previous video, in my previous reading, it was all this meditation that was coming up, this reconnection with the inner rather than outer. Because with these ancestors, with everyone that came before us, like I said, it all lives in our DNA, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the experience, it is all encoded in our DNA. It doesn't matter what is your ancestor line. All these ancestors, my ancestors, your ancestors, whichever part of the world you are from, they all lived at the same time, whichever generation. It doesn't matter if they were in the same part of the world. There were generations that were living at the same time. All these generations, they had the same connection to what was at that time, and that all lives within us. It gets passed on. So the wisdom is all within. The wisdom from all there was is all within. But it needs to be found when we tune into this contemplation. It's again this heart space, like for many of us, including myself, my hands up here, it is very difficult for me to, open my heart and trust and be like a child, because many of us went through traumatic experiences which shut us down. We shut down because we try to protect ourselves. And this is why there is so much sorrow and pain running through the collective at the moment, to help us to open the heart, to feel again, so we can heal this stuff that needs healing collectively, because this is all a collective energy that is playing out in some way in everyone's life. So it is happening in my life, your life, everyone's life, and it takes a certain form, but it is a collective energy. This is not unique just to me, or unique just to you, even though the shape and the form it took on might be unique in its expression to your life, to your experience, but it is not a unique energy. This energy of, abandonment, loss, betrayal, not good enoughness, problems with self-esteem, which then is reflected to us by our problems with finances, problems with relationship. It's all the same archetype, Taurus. All these things are being experienced to a certain extent in everyone's life at the moment, because we are processing the 29 degrees of Neptune. And Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they are the collective evolution. They are not just personal planets. They are not your Venus. They are not your Mercury. They are a collective evolution. So all of us being alive at this time and age, we will always remember what's been going on in your world, even though we might not have all the details, but we will always remember, for as long as we live, we will remember what we've experienced throughout this lifetime, because we lived at the same time. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto was doing the same thing for all of us, you know. So this is it, you know. So with the Council of Light, we have the opportunity to tune to the wisdom of the ancestors and wisdom to the spirit form, but it comes from within, because everybody is processing these situations and experiences in their own unique way. And this is the Aquarius. It is not going to be the same for everyone. It's about individuation, breaking the pattern, and it's going to have its own authentic expression. Yeah. Okay, so we asked the Shaman, which is the Earth. Now we're going to ask the Starseeds, the Starseed Oracle. Okay, what our Starseed family wants to tell us, to support us on this path forward. 888 Lionsgate, going forward. Please, Starseed family, what is your message for us? Okay. Star family, you're part of the team of souls. Call in support. Right, the support is always available. Look at this beautiful cluster of star beings. So I don't know if it shows on the camera, but all these little things, these are beings. You see, you know, there is a cluster of light, and there are all these beings that are catapulted catapulted, you know, probably to the planet Earth, you know, like cluster of light, star family, and then we all fly to the Earth, end up somewhere different, but then we, throughout especially this lifetime, we are called together. And then at the bottom is the breath of cosmos. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Yeah, we're trying to tell universe how we want it to be done. Whereas actually we already have the mission. We already have the mission encoded in our crystalline DNA. Okay, let's see. So with the star family, this one is not necessarily in a alphabetical order, because it's got a different etaps. So let's see, where do I find this? The star. Ah, yeah, it's here. You are part of a team of souls. Call in support. At some stage, we were each a part of a soul cluster. Interesting, that's the word that came to me. A gathering of souls who broke away from one another to experience themselves individually. Aquarius. Those who are part of your soul cluster are part of your star family. Your star family are those souls who are cut from a similar cosmic cloth. You haven't just experienced lifetimes together, your souls were once actually one. It's very common for star family members to incarnate at similar times, to work with anchoring a similar frequency of light, and to cross paths with each other. You know that someone is part of your star family when you feel like you know and remember them from a moment you met. They feel instantly familiar and comfortable. Time both passes quickly and stretches when you're with them. You feel more yourself with them than with anyone else. It can sometimes feel like looking in the mirror, because in a way you are. Often you'll go out of your way to help those in your star family, instinctively knowing it's part of your path. When a star family member dies, you feel it very deeply, regardless of how long you knew them. A certain soul mourning or soul breaking occurs. Think about the people in your life. Who do you feel is a part of your star family? If this card comes up in a spread, it's likely that you met someone who is part of your star family, or you're about to. Starseed Soul Inquiry. Who do you think is from the same star family as you? How can you call upon them for support? Yeah, this is the time where the starseeds are coming together to, you know, it's again stepping into our purpose, co-creating together, you know, through that that imprint that we chose to come here to act upon and manifest. Okay, and this micromanaging the universe. Breath of cosmos, that's this one. When we rely only on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We're rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from the space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life, to surrender to greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. When you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little, you find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life. Here it goes, the authenticity word. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control and release the way you think things should be, and surrender to the greater will, you will find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. And Starseed activation. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I'm willing to stop relying on my own strength and personal agenda and instead surrender to the breath of life. Dear God, help me move from my will to thy will. Please lead me, please show me the way. So I think rather than, becoming all religious and all that, this is about going with the flow of life, but going with your intuition, because you see in many cases we might talk ourselves out of what feels is the way for us and would bring us the joy, the first thing that comes to our mind because it's coming from our heart, and we talk ourselves out of it because of the ego. We make excuses and we try to justify or analyze, or we just talk ourselves out of it, and then we try to say oh well, but this is how it should be, blah blah blah. So I feel rather than just going oh yeah, I'm just gonna be here waiting, for the universe, or something to do it for me or something, I feel like we have to discern. This is again this Virgo, Mercury retrograde conjuncting Venus today, going back into Leo. It's about being able to discern based on all this past life and ancestor wisdom, to discern which one is it. Is it the time to take a step back and await the guidance? Is it the time to take an inspired action? So be able to understand this language of our soul and how our body communicates with us, because at the end of the day, yes, we have a free will, but actually it's always our higher self that's behind the wheel. So eventually we all get to where we meant to go. Yeah, and in the process the soul families are coming together. So call on the support. Okay, we are at the hour already and I still have 4 decks, so probably won't be able to read all of them. So I'm just gonna have a look what's okay. At the sacred destiny we have the wisdom, which is again about learning from the past. I'm just going to read the cards message. The wisdom, that also look like a mermaid going to the depth of ocean. Things are not as they seem. Look beneath the surface in your life. For example, you might feel that you aren't making progress on a particular project, yet beneath the surface things are happening. Or you might be going through a stormy cycle. This card is letting you know that even though the surface of your life might be a bit rocky or wobbly, in a deeper place all is well and serenity and peace are emerging. Things that may seem challenging will later be revealed to have been beneficial. Yeah. This is also what we've been talking about. That it might not make all sense at the moment and things might not even be changing at the moment, but there is a lot happening underneath. And also with regards to universe and the way things have been agreed upon, everything is exactly as it's meant to be. Everything is happening exactly as it's been agreed upon. you know, like decided, orchestrated, agreed upon, because everybody that is alive at the moment playing the role they're playing, they all agreed to play that role. So even though, again, from the human perspective, from the ego perspective, we might be in resistance and judging the situations, myself included, on a deeper level, on a higher level, everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to be happening in order to support us on this evolutionary path towards where we go in, you know, whether it's this awakening, whether it's this stepping for, you know, in our power, putting up boundaries, learning the lessons from the past, whatever it is that is the meaning of the situation, everything is happening as it has to in order for us to support that learning process. And yeah, unfortunately, learning is not always through easy, it doesn't have to be difficult, but it's not always through easy situations. Okay, now we're going to use Oracle of Delphi. You know, let's see what is the Oracle saying, you know, Oracle of Delphi with regards to the future prediction, perhaps prophecies from the Eternal Priestess. This is another one of my favorite decks, one of the most beautiful decks I ever worked with. Okay. Ooh, okay, the cards are flying all over the place. One card, please, Spirit. Oracle of Delphi. Seer. Wow, interesting. This is quite similar, right? Like, even though this one is in forest, but look at that, you know, the calmness, and here we'll get the seer. It looks a little bit like Lilith. I definitely seen this card before. I don't know if I pulled it for a collective or for myself, but I definitely pulled this card. Seer, having the vision. See, enlighten, visualize, and interpret, and it's number 25, which is associated with it's number 7, number of Neptune, and at the beginning is the lovers, the choice. We already had this card before, number 13, for creating a new foundation. But we're going to read about the seer because I'm not sure whether this already came out in collective reading. Let's see, the seer, you know, and this is like Amazonian, you know, like this figure. It literally looks like Lilith, doesn't it? You know, facing the shadows, and also these two antlers at each side, right? This is also like the representation of like leadership qualities. Be your own leader, have the vision, you know, no matter what. And also, again, look, we have again the owl. Again, the owl. You have the wisdom within you to make the choices that are right for you, to guide your way, you know, because beneath the surface, actually, everything is exactly as it's meant to be. Okay, let's see. Seer. Your masks of illusion are vanishing before your very eyes. Clear psychic sight reveals the truth untainted by rigid misconceptions. Child of the wild, reborn, a visionary outside of labels, your innate nature of is fundamentally intuitive. Embrace your raw and untamed expression. Get back to your roots to unveil your second side. Embrace your free spirit and primal instincts to liberate yourself and see your magical vision spring to life. This is a message to pay close attention to your inherited abilities, for you are the seer. As the seer, you sense the unseen. Dive deep. Dive deep. Right? Dive deep and reflect on the oracle card to seek more significant meaning. Random observations are likely hidden clues, so be on the lookout. Notice what signs pop out to you and intuitively discern the relevant meaning. Your descendants had intuitive powers to see the future and heal with natural elements. The future unfolds before you in visions and pictorial clues. Reading people, events, and situations comes easily to you, especially when you fully embrace your inborn gifts. Unlock your natural psychic senses through regular practice. Go wild, dance barefoot on the earth, run with the wolves, stomp your feet and shake your stagnant energy. If you have felt the call to work with plant medicine, engage in earth-based practices, or go on a retreat, this card is confirmation to trust those inner nudges and callings of the soul, as they will support you on your healing path. Spending time outdoors and calling on the support of elemental spirits will accelerate your awakening journey. The splendor of nature stirs your eternal spirit and awakens your dormant wisdom. Experiences of déjà vu can bring revelations. In these moments, your past, present, and future merge and become one. Your soul fragments are reclaimed and integrated to wholeness. You feel yourself returning to your roots. A homecoming celebration is happening behind the scenes. The Oracle's prophecy. Freedom is attained by awakening your psychic vision. Chakra, third eye, psychic sight. Talisman, the deer's antlers fall off and grow again, representing regeneration. Antlers also symbolize inborn vision and natural instincts. Faith in action steps. Perceive the reality of the situation with both your physical and psychic sight to discern what may not be immediately obvious. Alignment activation. Visualize and sense an indigo light swirling in and around you. Declare with strong intent. I surrender limiting filters, constructions, and views that blur my intuitive vision and innate truth. Artist insights. Rewilding, clear seeing, and plant medicine. Coming back to the origin of who we really are. Awakening that third-eyed, that psychic version of ourselves, the higher self, the regeneration that we are all experiencing and seeking the higher vision, right? That which we cannot see. Yeah, this is powerful deck. Powerful deck. So, you know, what is all this saying? All these cards, go deeper, go within. You know, soul families are coming together, healing is happening. We are tapping into our authenticity and learning to express ourselves and reconnect with our true divine nature. And it all already 1:10. You know, the time always runs away from us. I have the Earth Warriors, but that is such a long description again. Let's see what's there. The Earth Warriors at the bottom. The beauty weight of the Navajo. This card with the butterfly. Honzo. Oh, it's number 1. Okay, let's see. You know, let's see. I shuffled it prior. Let's see, just briefly. Interesting. I have never even seen that card. Okay. You are my sacred earth child, and I am your divine earth mother. With unconditional love, I provide all that you want and need so that you may fulfill your sacred destiny. We will always belong to each other. With abundance and generosity, I support you, revealing the divine beauty meant for you, and that joy and awe shall fill your soul. Relax now. It is time for you to be healed. Spiritual guidance. The beauty way reminds you that beneath the noise, beneath your worries and concerns, there is oneness between you and life. Even if your world may feel chaotic at times, even if you fear that you have gone off track, the path that will return to your peace, the path that will return you to peace, beauty, balance, and harmony is always here for you. You do not have to become stressed or exhausted to fix what isn't working. Solutions can come to you more easily when you allow yourself to drop out of the pain and into the pleasure of the beauty way. Sometimes problems will disappear altogether in this place, and you shall release you shall realize that they were nothing more than the dark creation of an overworked, fatigued mind. Sometimes you will discover a different way to look at things and helpful vision gifted by great spirit, and gain the energy to become productive, applying a simple and inspirational idea that changes everything. Okay. When you relax into her beauty way, she will show you many possibilities. She will help you to attract what you need and want most. In this way, you can become a channel through which her creative healing energy can flow abundantly into your life and to others in this world. So this is again the confirmation of what was coming out in the previous reading about the meditation. You know, to find the peace within, and then all the solutions will be found. The true way of transformation is going within. All the cards are saying the same things. And the Psychic Tarot is talking about sacral chakra. Reconnect with your joy. Reconnect with your joy. Is there anything else? Yeah, reconnect with your joy. Is the Leo. Leo is the solar plexus, the I am, but also the the sacral chakra, the joy, and reconnecting to the creativity. Solar plexus, of course. And then the waiting game, the Two of Wands, the decision time, creating the strong roots, you know, going in circles over and over and again to have the opportunity to reestablish the roots, to reconnect with ourselves and heal, so then the new can bloom. But we need to create the strong roots. So yeah, it's all happening. Okay, guys, I really don't know. I think maybe I should just end it here. I'm like kind of like, oh, you know, I'm not ready. So yeah, perhaps I should be brave, you know, with this Leo new moon, but I really need to drink some water. So okay, let's see if anything happens. I can't promise anything because sometimes it takes some time, but yeah. Okay, let's see if there is any activation for us. I did do some little bit prior to recording, but yeah, I usually listen to Milan Moritz in the background, so that definitely helps me to get on the right frequency. But anyway, this is in real times. Okay, let's try. What is the worst thing that can happen? Okay. Turakira kikukuru terapia kuru tuterita katukukura tatari tutudi tiripiki kakuturu kukarate teretuki karakete kuta pareki kuturu titira takotoro tapare titi turukita tarati kukara kakete turu tatateri kututara pekeke katuturu kakarate tetiru turiki kekarapikier tukura tapira tuturu kikarate kere pikuru tuturi tarapiki tarateru turiti dirikara tutura teke kere tuturi tarapikeke tuturu tatareti tu kapara kikere tu koro kiakatara pika kara tu turi tira tatara pakiu tu tara tara tu kudo tara kake pike kate tu kuri kiakata turu tapa kakere tu tu tara take tu tara pa kake turu tara titi titi kuru tapa kere to toro titi kere kuru toro te kere turu tu titi titi kapare ti kuturu tu kuru tere te kukura te keke kakoru tu kuru tiri kara kate kere tu pukura kieta tu turu kake kere tu turu tiri kara tara tukuru tu tere kere tu turi tiri ti kape ke kere tu karka ke kere tu karate tu tiri ti ke pike kara tu kukuru kaka ke te kuru tu tere te kuru tu tiri tira tare tu turi ke tere ke tu tara pike kere tu karaka te ke kere tu kaka kere tu kere ke tu ke pike kara tu ku tere ke kere tu turu ti tara pike kere tu tara ti tiri turi tiri kere kere kuru tu ke karaka tu kuru tu tere pike kere katara ti turu tu tu ti ti pikira ke tu tere ke kera tu kuru ku kiri ke karan tu kuru ke te kera kera ke tu ku ke te turu ku kora pe kera tu turu tu ti 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 ki te kera ku tu kuru ku tu ku tere ku turu ki ke kara ke kuru ku tu kuru ke pike ke kara tu ku tu turu tu ti ti pikira ke tu turu tu ti ti ki kera tu turu tu tere ke kera piki kuru tu kuru tara tira tu turu ti ki kera te kara ke tu kuru ku te kera ke te pikira ke te kara ke te kera ke te ku tu kuru tere ke te turu tu ku te tere ke te tara tu turu te kera ke tu turu ti 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 pikira tu turu ti ti ke te kara pikira ke te kara ti ke kera ku turu ti 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 tu turu tara pe te tere tu turu ti ti ke turu ku tu ke te kera ke tu ku turu tere ke tara pikira ke te kara turu ku tara ke kera ku turu turi ti te kara pikira kera tu kuru ti te kuru tu ti ti kiri ka pa kara ke te kuru tu turi ti ti kara pikira tu tere ke turu tu ti ti ke kera turu tu ka pa kera ke tu kuru ku tu kara ke tu turi ti ka pikira Turutara kaker katuru to kokrakata karakota peker. Okay, guys, I'm a bit hot. All right, thank you. Thank you, all my guides, my higher self, all the beings of light, my angelic team, everybody present for this video. Thank you to the cards for all the messages that came through, all the guidance, all the support. And yeah, thank you. If you're still watching, thank you for your presence. Thank you for being here on the 8-8 portal or whenever you are watching this. And yeah, I hope that this message resonated with you. And until next time, I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye.